Hello everybody, Caden here today with, wait for it, episode 50 of the season. Now, we've never gotten past episode 50 on any series before on this channel. It's absolutely insane that we're getting past episode 50, trying not to show too much. And to celebrate this, I was like, you know, what could we do, guys? What could we do to kind of celebrate and, you know, show how far we've come? And that is actually a brilliant choice of words there, Caden. I'm amazed I didn't write a script. I know. It's amazing the commentary I can come up with it just on the fly. Anyway, so that's what we've done, guys. To show how far we've come, I am literally showing how far we have come. Do 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 do. We are not on our world, as you can tell. I think about 200 of you guys will remember this world. Probably, yeah, I finished this world when I still had around 200, when I just gotten around 200 subs. This is Season 4's Dinosaurs Park. This took about a year to build, and it was an absolutely massive world. This was one of my crowning achievements, I'd say, of builds. We're not going to fly around too much. You know what? We're going to start here. So this was kind of the central plaza of the park. Everything kind of was built off of this area, although this is one of the intermediate builds we did. So anyway, let's just go over what we have. I actually need to go into controls, I think. There we go. Now I can sprint. So we had this seaside cafe. I think not copied. I was inspired by Ironstone Mines cafe type thing. So yeah, that's kind of where I got the. Oh no. Let's just fix that. Yeah, that's kind of where I actually got the idea on what to build for this. I really like how this building looks. It's a very nice little cafe, restaurant. One of my favorites, I think. The roof was not the greatest, but you know what? It was an attempt. Very good one. So, you know, I think we'll hit this area first just because why not? So, Tylosaurus Feeding Stadium. I love this little line setup thing. I think I built this after I went to Disneyland. So it was kind of inspired. What was it? The Matterhorn. I think it was about that line that I kind of was like, oh yeah, I liked how that line looked. So why not do something similar? Anyway, we built this. I actually never finished this build. I never finished the stadium. I did not realize that. Like, yeah, I never finished the build. I think this was like 2 weeks in the making, and by the time I'm just doing other things and this, and I was just kind of sick of working on this build, so I was like, you know what, I give up. But anyway, yeah, it was like the Mosasaur Stadium from Jurassic World, and I have to say, I really like how this build looks. It's one of my favorite ones from the last season, and it was annoying to build, but it was an awesome build in the end. And that wasn't even the coolest part. You come down here, and yep, there it is. I don't actually have Optifine because I'm not, so I'm actually going to go to the Season 3 world. We're going to take a tour of both parks because why not? But, yeah, this was back when I still used shaders in every episode. We had a nice shader pack on, but yeah, the Tylosaurs right there. These aqua tunnels literally took 3.5 billion years to make, and it was really annoying to make these things, but in the end, I would very much say it was worth it. Like, you see, oh, I forgot it. I didn't even really stop at the barrier fence. I built a huge stinking barrier fence between this area and the last one, and this area, I believe, is Mosasaurus and Liopleurodon. We have like 6, yep, there's I have like 6 of each in this cage, or this tank type thing. We also have the whole underwater tower thing. We had an above water one, and it was really cool. I never really finished the interior of this place. I could have definitely done a bit more. Then we have the aqua tunnel section. You come down here. I loved how this building looked. And like I said, yeah, we had I didn't actually update the mods. Mainly because I'm hoping to get the other world to work. It crashed before. I was going to start there, actually, but yeah. Also, funny story before we continue. I forgot today was episode 50. So I did about half an hour of work on the Allosaurus enclosure. I didn't record. It was just like, pre-episode work. And then I realized, wait a second, I gotta do this. So yeah, just kind of hopped on real quick. Oh, you guys, if you pay close attention to this, you'll actually realize, and I'm realizing this now, I never finished this park. Usually I end the season when I finish the park, but this season was cut short about a month because I was trying to get the next season set up because I told everyone a date. Anyway, so that's why a lot of things in this park aren't finished. Also, but this was by far one of the cooler areas I made. This is the Plesiosaurus enclosure, and I'm also using a custom texture pack that I had on when I was making this season. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, we had like 6 Plesiosaurs in here. This was back when they were gigantic, and yeah, it was a pretty cool place. You know what? No, we'll break through the floor to keep this area from getting flooded. And there we go. Oh, whoops, my mouse went down. But yeah, I mean, if we go in here real quick, I think, oh yeah, there's one. A mosasaur. They never really grew up because I wasn't on this part of the world long enough for them to actually grow up. I think we only got those in the last 6 episodes, which were really rushed videos. Also, we are going to head over there eventually, but we're going to head this way first to Gift Shop and Tyrannosaurus. This was the first T-Rex enclosure I did, and you might be like, okay, it's the Revival Rex, it's sick. It actually isn't. This is the Jurassic Craft T-Rex, because we had, obviously, Jurassic Craft this season. During this season, and yeah. We have a male and a female, I believe. Yep, we have a male and female Jurassic Craft Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was pretty sick when we got these guys in originally. I love the park. Oh yeah, I don't think I had better foliage on for a very long time in this season. But yeah, we're going to get through most of this. This was a huge enclosure. I mean, this was kind of like a little island, or not island, peninsula type thing, and I basically turned it all into a T-Rex enclosure. One of the bigger T-Rex enclosures I've ever done. I like the fence design. Also, for those of you wondering, oh, I don't think I've ever seen this iron bar texture before, or unless you saw the Raptor enclosure video. This is what it was made for. I made it for this T-Rex area because I was like, I need a better iron bar texture. The ones we have don't look good enough. I also built this gift shop here because why not? It wasn't my best design, but it worked. It worked for what we needed. And we'll look over at the Allosaurus in a second. Also, you'll notice I had a pathway. This is kind of the, what would you call it, precursor to our current path system, which is a lot better. Anyway, this is one of the cool things that I want to do with possibly the Allosaurs and definitely the new T-Rex enclosure when we get to that. This. It's like a built-in cave-type viewing area. You can't actually see the T-Rexes. Oh, you can? You can kind of see them in the very background right there. But yeah, so this was one of the first times I'd ever done this, and I really liked how it turned out. We had like some cool, like what would you call this? Plating or extra security along the windows, and it looked really cool. And yeah, now we're gonna look at the Allosaur, but then we're gonna head back there to actually go look at the rest of the park, because there's actually 2 ways to get over here. And this is what I was talking about. Actually, this would have been 2 episodes ago. The Allosaur, so the old Allosaur enclosure. So you can see we don't actually have much fencing around this area. It's basically the river keeps them in. Then there's a fence back there. We have an elevated walkway with an amazing bridge. I loved this season. We did in season 4 we did a lot of bridges because we had a huge river system running through the park. / time set day. There we go. Also, they don't sleep in this one, I forgot. Yeah, but we also had a bit of a fence here. It wasn't the best exhibit in the world, but it was an interesting one. It was unique, and I think that's what I liked about it. So we're going to head back here. Now, you guys can probably guess what's in that enclosure because you've seen them. But before we go there, we're going to actually quickly go back here, which was an addition to the restaurant because there wasn't actually enough seating in there, so I added all of this in. And I really like how this back area looks. It's one of my favorite places in the park, honestly. And then, well, if we hop over here, Ceratosaurus. This was my old Ceratosaur pen. I think on this world, this was the first enclosure we actually did that was kept. All the others were destroyed and moved, but this one stayed. And I really like it. It's got this area back here and that exhibit hold a real special place in my heart in these parks. I actually need to do something real quick because if I don't, we may have difficulties uploading the video today. But anyway, so yeah, that area is real special to me. And then over here, like you guys have seen, where are they? There's gotta be one right by there. Well, okay, you can't really see them through here, but this is the Carnotaurus siestri cage. I loved Carnotaurus in this mod. Carnotaurus is still one of my favorite carnivores. I like albiasaurs in general. They're just a cool group of dinos. But again, if you look back here, you're like, what's this? This was going to be another viewing area. But of course, due to time constraints, I never actually finished it, which I'm really disappointed about. And this, you might be like, this looks a little weird, because it should. This was the original Carnotaurus enclosure. I had not realized how big they were going to get. And I think we were planning at that point to put something else over there. It may have been Dilophosaurus or T-Rex or something, but I put those in there. And then later I was like, we can make this part of their exhibit, and I built like a cool tunnel system to let them in. And then I realized how pointless that is, so I kind of just destroyed it and made both of this part of their exhibit, because why not? And also, you guys would not believe, but you see this walkway here. This walkway took like a month and a half, I think, to finally get right, so that way it fit with the fence. Because I mean, you can tell this is a bit of an awkward fence to build. I mean, it's a straight wall pretty much, and I have to build it at a consistent height so that it matched up with the walkway, and made it so the walkway didn't like end too shortly, it wasn't too steep, wasn't too long to the point where you couldn't see in. This just area was really hard to build, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I mean, I actually haven't been on this world in like, oh goodness gracious, how long has it been? It's been a good few months. It's been probably close to 5 months maybe since I've been on here. It's been a very long time. And then this wooden bridge, this bridge here has been here since for forever, and it does peer into the Ceratosaurus enclosure. A lot of the exhibits peered into the Ceratosaurus enclosure, which I actually want. Can we put it on 16 chunks? Yeah, we can. We're not using shaders. This pathway, I'm going nostalgia on this one, because this is going to be a long video, by the way, guys. Nostalgia-filled episode. That's probably what's going to be called. Episode 50, Nostalgia. But this pathway has been here forever as well. It's one of my favorite. I loved all these little things I did in this park. This park. Okay, so there's the thing, and I'm going to mention this more in the next park when we show the tour of that. But this is what I would call the prototype park. This isn't what actually started me doing parks like this, and what's influenced Season 5. This just influenced Season 5's builds. This kind of got me into the phase where I was a good enough builder to really, get things going and build Park 5, because, Park 5 is doing pretty well with the builds. Anyway, let's continue down here. I mean, like, you can actually see some of the predecessors. We got the predecessor of the herbivore fence here, predecessor of the carnivore fence. This fence has not actually changed much. Oh, what block is this? Cobblestone with panel. Maybe I'll have to use that block again. But like you can see here, this is a lot like what we're doing with the Allosaurus enclosure currently, because, well, it was a design I really liked. I also liked this area because it was just kind of cool. Anyway, so we have Triceratops over here. This was Triceratops and Parasaurolophus, I believe. I don't remember what it originally was. It was not these things in here originally. Actually, this was a house. Yeah, that was my house right there. And then this was a Sarco lake. And then, oh, what else was there? This lake was actually a lot bigger when it was originally generated. And then there was something back there. It was like a whole hill, things like that. It's kind of crazy. This was going to be Dilophosaurus for a while, I think, but then I changed it mainly because, actually, yeah, you can kind of see that this was going to be a dinosaur exhibit because we have a whole another fence down here. So we have Parasaurolophus, the old Jurassic Park ones, which are terrible, and the Triceratops, and then we have Pachy's. Oh my gosh, it's the really adorable old model. To be honest, I've kind of gotten used to the new models for both of these guys. I still prefer the old Ankylosaur model because, oh my gosh, it's so chubby and adorable. Both of them were. But I mean, you can kind of see here, predecessor builds. All these builds are leading up to the actual builds that we've used. Now, speaking of which, we actually need to head over real quick to here so I don't forget to show it off. But yeah, we got this bridge. I did a lot of bridges this season. That is basically what came afterwards for the fences. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, I think I know why, actually. This park is just basically what inspired the next park that we're currently working on. And this is Sarco Lake. I love how this area looks. I am not going to lie. I think the reason... And there again, you can see where I was planning to expand. I think the Ice Age Park was originally planned to go all the way back here because there was a lot of space, and it kind of made sense logistically, I think, to me at the time. But yeah, we got Sarcos in here. I think the Sarco used to be a lot smaller. Yeah, they did used to be quite a bit smaller than they are now. I think those new Sarcos are a lot bigger. But yeah, it was basically... There were no fences really in the season, but I think there may have been actually a fence. Yeah, at the very back, like right there, and right there were fences, but there is not a lot of fence in here. This end where there was, it was a really low fence, like over there. But I think that's what I liked about the Sarco Lake. It was just a lake, and you could have a chance. Can we? Oh, I think the FPS is actually... I want to put it on standard, because this is the... By the way, guys, if you're wondering, what is the shader pack I used for my thumbnails? It is Seuss 10-point-something standard. And this makes the lake look even cooler, because it makes the water somewhat translucent, not as easy to see through, and it looks really cool. Actually, what's the other one I was using? Okay, this is the one I think I was using for the actual episodes, and then... Is this the one I was using for videos? No, not for videos, for thumbnails. I may have been using this one for thumbnails. I kind of prefer the water for this one, but I get lower FPS than I do with the... Oh my gosh, I love shaders. Anyway, we're going to turn them off purely just to save my FPS. You know, I think this season is the entire reason I bought a new laptop. Yes, you might be like, but why didn't you buy a PC? PC Master Race. Because... I did not have enough money to build a really awesome PC. I'm working on that currently. I just had enough money to buy a better laptop, so I bought a better laptop. I also bought my mic then. Anyway, this is the other half of the Ankylosaur exhibit. Okay, Ankylosaur. We had, like, it connects here, but these ones always stayed over here, and those ones always stayed over there. Also, the diagonal fence, or diagonal walkway, I am never doing that again. That was just... bad. However, I kind of forgot about this area. This kind of looks cool. Anyway, we're going to get over to that side of the park eventually, but for now, I think, yeah, we're going in the best order of things. This building went through a huge cosmetic change. Dinosaur Center. This is not what this building originally looked like on the interior. I mean, the actual exterior, like this dome part's been here forever. But then this whole area got added in very late in the season, basically because I wanted a visitor center, but I didn't know where to build one, so I just kind of turned this into one. We had a whole botanical garden back here, which I liked. Again, the predecessor of the glass paved area. And then this. The Brachiosaurus and Stegosaurus exhibit, which if I actually fly over, excluding that area used to actually be part of this. So I guess if we included that, just look at the size of this this area. This is the biggest area I ever allotted to a dinosaurs exhibit. Never gonna do something that big again because it took forever to build a fence. And I hated building that fence so much. It was the worst thing ever to do. There was gonna be a lab over here, I think, at some point. I never actually got to that, but you know, it was a plan. Let's get time set day. /time set. Wow, there's some serious lag on this world. You can tell that. Yeah, there's just lag. This area, to really understand something, you need to look down here. That was awesome. I liked building that just because it was cool. And there was going to be a pathway over here. I never finished this. I never finished it. Erebus portal. Oh, back when we used Erebus. I forgot about that. Oh, that was a cool mod when we first installed it. It kind of was pointless later because there was only one exhibit I could do with it, and then any other exhibits I had planned really didn't have time to build, so they weren't added in. I'm kind of moving things around because I needed my mic closer and my computer farther away. Okay, now you guys remember the Compsognathus tunnel. This is the original one. You went down like this, and it was so cool at the time. I loved how this was. It's my favorite build in the park for so long. But like, I honestly think this looks better than the one we currently have, just because the shaping is awesome. Don't like the doors, but you know what? Like, oh, it looks so cool. It looks kind of like an old abandoned train, like an old train station that we've retrofitted to be an exhibit. Compsognathus longipes. The old compies that didn't actually move, we've got those. This area was so cool. You can kind of see, you guys remember the Henotis exhibit, the trees I built there. This is kind of what helped with the creation of that. These trees were all custom, not the greatest trees in the world, but they were okay. Had a little cafe back here. Oh, this area is, oh, and I did skylights in here. I completely forgot about that. Oh, I need to recreate this build. This build was amazing. Then you'd come out here and we had this really cool archway. Again, you can tell I kind of copied that up into the new park. Little koi pond in here, which was actually filled with coelacanth. I loved how that looked. And over here we have Gallimimus and Dryosaurus. Not Dryosaurus, these are Hypsilophodon, basically the precursors to the much cuter, I think, Dryosaurs. But the Hypsilophodon's pretty cute. Maybe we will add Jurassic Craft to the world, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, the music that's actually playing for Minecraft I think is rather fitting. But it was just, wow. This is kind of like, you know, when it's, I mean, the only other time I really feel like this is when I like go through an old binder of drawings and I just like find that one drawing I spent like 10 hours doing and it looked phenomenal at the time. I mean, it doesn't look great compared to what I did today, but I mean, it still looks great. That's what it's like being here. It's like, I have built a much better park, but coming back here, it's just, oh, it's breaking my heart. It's so awesome to just come back to this park. The bug house! Oh, this was the pure reason we had Erebus. All these bugs were name tagged because if I didn't do that, they were going to despawn. It was horrible to get these things in here, but I mean, you guys have to admit, it was cool. We had like glass and we had iron bars in front of it. It looked really cool. And we had, oh, this is honestly, I think I was kind of doing, what was it, Prehistoric Park. I was kind of building it after their bug house. I was gonna actually add a whole nother area onto this. I never ended up doing that. Really wish I had, because the bug house is just so cool. I'm so sad Erebus didn't work with the new mod pack. It just didn't, and it kind of broke my heart, because I was like, the bug house was cool, and I really wanted to do it. And wait, if we come over here, yet another bridge, because I built tons of bridges. Also, yeah, I forgot. I don't think I actually said this was the Spinosaurus exhibit, but this is, and it is one of the larger exhibits in the park. Terrible fence, absolutely atrocious looking fence, but it was the Spinosaur area. We actually had 2 Spinos. One got in there, and I had to kill it. There's an escaped raptor. I forgot about that. I don't know how it got out. Finished. I left myself a note. I forgot about this. I was towards the end of the season. I was just like, when I was trying to speed things up and get everything done, I was like, okay, Caden, you need to leave signs everywhere. Just tell you what you need to finish. Finish gift shop. This was gonna be a gift shop, and I never built it. And I really wish I had, because it's kind of a cool area. Oh yeah, that. I think I was gonna do something with that. I don't have no idea what I was. Check the other season if you want to know. We also had been doing skeletons in the area to just make it cool. Now this area is another place that is held in quite a high esteem in my heart. The old raptor building. The old you could not see into these things. These things were terrible. You had terrible eyesight into these things. Which I really wish I just put glass panes in here, because you would have easily been able to see much nicer, have a much nicer view of these areas. But this Velociraptor exhibit we can kind of break in, because this is a world download. Speaking of which, I'll get the link when I'm uploading this, but I will put the link to download both these worlds for you guys. So if you guys want to come on here now and just hang out and do what I did, tour the park, whatever, yeah, you can. But yeah, this building was one of my favorites. We had Deinonychus over here. This is back when raptors pretty much only climbed. And yeah, we got a Oh, that looks so cool. Yeah. Over here were Herrerasaurs, but they despawned for some reason, or they just died, and I can't remember why. I was really annoyed when they did. And then this was the Jurassic Craft Raptor exhibit. Oh yeah, there's one there. I was trying to make it like the actual film, so you couldn't really see in. We fly over here. We had like one really big one and then 2 small ones. But this is what the complex looked like when it was finished, and I really love how this area looks. It was just it was a different build, and that's what I think I loved so much about it. It was a different build, and that was cool. Then if we come up here, the mammoth exhibit. This was my Ice Age mammals. I hadn't had an idea on where to put these guys yet, so I was like, you know what? I got this huge long area. Let's just throw them in. And I have to say, it ended up turning out pretty good. It was the first time I really dug a moat for an exhibit. And again, the Allosaurus exhibit is being somewhat based off of this, where we have the walkway being elevated or, you know, above the actual dinosaurs exhibit. And yeah. Anyway, we're going to go in here first for a quick second. This was the Spinosaurus restaurant, which did not actually end up working the way I wanted it to. I think I was watching, who was it? Smithy MC. Video and he had a really cool Spinosaurus waterfall area with a restaurant overlooking the exhibit, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I want to do something like that. Oh yeah, the whole private like mob area. I don't know why I have this, but I do. Yeah, the problem was the fence design I made was so atrociously bad, and I think I thought it was really good at the time, because remember, it's been like 5 months since I built this park, and at this point I was just kind of like rushing builds and nothing really looked super duper good. But yeah, the Spinosaur area. Also, Dilophosaurus. These guys got no love last season. Literally, I got them in for like 6 episodes. They had a horrible exhibit. I broke it down, kept them trapped for so long, and then I just made this quick little exhibit in like 20 minutes. And then, yeah, I felt really bad about this. It just was a bad exhibit, and these guys deserve a lot more love, being one of my favorite dinosaurs. But anyway, I guess we're going to move on. And I just remember there's a whole area I need to show off after we finish this part of the park. Oh, yeah, this part. Oh, yeah. The old Smilodon enclosure. This is getting rebuilt. I am rebuilding this pretty much block for block for this season, for this current season, because I loved how this area looked. It was just a cool exhibit. We had, what are those called? They're like a Kyope or whatever from Zoo Tycoon 2. Did that because I loved how it looked. Kind of looks like Pride Rock. We have 3 Smilodons in here, and the exhibit was just really cool. And yes, we're going to get to that eventually, don't worry. Then we had the Terror Bird exhibit, which was not as good. Hey, we got Terror Birds. That's the important thing. And then over here, Arsinotherium. Oops, I hopped over the fence there. Arsinotherium and Elasmotherium. This was actually not really intended to be here, but I was running out of space and ideas, so I was like, why not? So, what happened with this exhibit oh, you know what this exhibit did? This exhibit got me into starting to do custom trees. You can tell this because I added roots, which look absolutely terrible. But again, it was just kind of a way of starting to get things set up. That's what this park was. This park was setting things up. Terrible area. I did not work on at all. I just dug a tunnel. Ashamed of this. Leptictedium enclosure. These guys actually had a previous enclosure, but they died, or I killed them or something. I don't honestly remember. But yeah, this is the current one. It does not look as good as the original one I did, which was based off the Walking with Beasts episode, like, thing from BBC, where they had them living in a mangrove area. So I kind of based it off that. Be there in a second. Don't worry, guys. All of you who want to see that. And the dodos. The dodos. I don't know why I built this part of the dodo enclosure, but I did. I'll probably do a lot of similar things for the current dodo park exhibit thing. Now, you might be wondering, why is there so much sand? So, I had been doing a lot of research, and I was like, okay, I'm correct. Dodos lived on a tropical island. Close to the shores, actually. So, unlike doing what a lot of people do, which is they put them in an ice age type biome, I put them on the shores. There was a whole ocean type thing here. We had like planks and stuff, and it looked really awesome. And then the dodo started drowning. And I had to get rid of it because dodos can't swim apparently. So yeah. But this was the dodo area. And this, the last frenzied build I did, this was my favorite. It just looks awesome and absolutely adorable. I like how I did the walls for this one. We're definitely doing something very similar to this for the current season. Now, yes, the one you've all been waiting for. The mother of all aviaries. The week-long or so build, oh my gosh, excuse me, of this behemoth. This building has more glass, most likely, than is in my entire Season 5 park. This building alone. This is the biggest building I have ever built. It's bigger than the Aquaviary is. I'd say this dome is probably twice the size of the one we had on there. It's just a massive dome. And it could have even been a lot bigger, but I put it in a mountain to save myself time, which I'm very thankful I did. But it's just huge. Huge. Absolutely ginormous. I was kind of expecting them to add Quetzalcoatlus in pretty soon. I was hoping so. That's one of the reasons it was so big. I also had Paleocraft in at the time. And until I realized the dimension was broken and did not exist. Sorry for coughing there, guys. I've been talking for like half an hour already. Goodness gracious. This video is going to take like 9 billion years to upload. But anyway. Yeah, I had one of Quetzals in there. That's one of the reasons it was so big. But now we go to the one of the final buildings I actually did. The hotel. Or what was going to be a hotel. We had like the whole water thing there. I never finished this build, mainly because I didn't want to. I got very bored at the end of the park and I didn't really do this. I think, what was I based this off? So I think I'd reread the Jurassic Park novel by Michael Crichton at this point. Actually, the music sounds a little loud. No, it's actually quite quiet compared to how I usually have things. Yeah, I'd reread the novel recently, and in the novel there is a very similar lodge to this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do that in this park, so I did that. The final... We're already at the final exhibit! This is insane! What's crazier is that we've probably already spent half an hour on this video, and I've got to show off another park as well. I am showing off 2 parks this episode, guys, so if you wanted an hour-long episode, this is the episode for you. This is the T-Rex enclosure for Revival. It's not as good, but you know what? It was an attempt, and it did its job. So, something I'd say this kind of did, along with the Velociraptor, it was kind of like getting this design, but... Are they? Oh, did we only have... No, we had 2, yeah. I didn't like this texture. I did not like this texture at all. Anyway, this was the Revival T-Rex exhibit. I'm so sad that I put no work into this. The T-Rex, I mean, it's not my favorite dinosaur, but it is one of the coolest dinosaurs out there, and it definitely deserves a better exhibit than I gave it. I mean, actually, let's go over here real quick and just see the whole area I could have built into. We had this. Look at these mountains. Like, we definitely could have built a whole nother park just beyond this mountain range, and I didn't. This park, though, I mean, as you can already tell, is absolutely massive. This park probably will be... Okay, compared to the current plans for Season 5's park, or this season's park, this park is probably twice, maybe 3 times that size. You're like, well, why is it so big? Why are you making Season 5's park so small? Because I don't want another park like this. You see, each season, I try and do something slightly different. The season before this, like we'll see in probably around 10-20 minutes, something like, I don't know, whenever I finish showing off this world, is that this world was an experiment to see how big of a park I could make. The season before that was making a condensed park. This current season is a bit of a mixture between the two, and I'm kind of liking it better. I don't want a super condensed park like the previous one was. Also, this was how you got into the Sarco area. Actually, that's not too bad of a gate. Anyway, unfinished build number 4,276. The garage and the headquarters. This is again after Jurassic World came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, you need to do something. This part looked really cool. I spent a lot of time designing this, and we might try and do something similar again. We'll see. But anyway, if we come up here, who was it? MC Ingram. He did something similar to this. That's what I thought was really cool. But yeah, this was going to be our control center. It was going to be a very large building, 2 floors, really cool looking, and I never finished it. I'm very sad I never finished this build. Again, it was due to time constraints and me just kind of being bored at the end of the season. I was very bored with the world, and I was like, I don't want this big park. I want a smaller park. So this build, unfortunately, was neglected, and I feel very bad about that. I really should have finished this. But it did lead to a very cool design. I like this, we're human security fence. This isn't meant to keep a dinosaur out. This is meant to keep people out. Then we go over here to the holding pens. Now, this was created purely for Dilophosaurus, and I mean, I really realized more afterwards. This was using that really cool glass I was actually showing off in yesterday's episode, actually. I mean, I'm just actually gonna fix this right here. If you guys want to fix this, when you download the world, you'll have to do it yourself because I'm not gonna change the world download. This is the way it should have been, but this is basically just meant to be a holding pen. This was a small area. I think what kind of inspired this was, of all things, the terrible Telltale Games Jurassic Park of the game. The, what are they called? Troodon. The Troodon exhibit really inspired this build. I mean, we don't even really see it, just the idea of a small little area used to contain dinosaurs for research purposes or until their own exhibit was built fascinated me, and I was like, I need to do something like this, so I did. And I might do something similar in the current park. I don't know what we'd use it for, because, I mean, we really kind of keep each I mean, the only dinosaur that really needs it right now would be, actually, none of them. We've kind of repurposed all the exhibits, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is the end of the first part of the episode, I guess. I'm going to try and get the other world to work now. So this is going to be a very, very late upload. Sorry about that, guys. Just maybe, for some of you, it'll probably be up on Saturday morning instead of Friday evening. But yeah, I am enjoying this. It's fun to come back to these old parks. I honestly wish with my heart, all my heart, that I had not deleted the other 2 worlds. They're terrible, terrible parks. In fact, we're actually going to see them soon, because for those of you who don't know, we're going to hit 1,000 most likely. I mean, what is it? People say, my friends keep telling me like, oh dude, you're gonna hit like 1K by the end of the month. I'd love it if we can do that, guys. So wait, we're at 930. We're at 930. Okay, yeah, we can probably hit this by the end of the month. It's only the 7th, and we're already almost to 950 subscribers. So when we hit 1K, guys, we will be doing some other stuff. I'm not gonna say what. Some of you guys actually suggested it on the server, so go on there sometimes when I'm on and see if I'll ask stuff like that. Anyway, and the other thing is we're actually going to look back, and this will maybe tie if 1K hits close enough to it. This will also tie into the whole what is it called? 3-year celebration, which will be kind of watching the old videos, seeing how things have changed on YouTube and with my channel. So yeah, I'm gonna cut here real quick, and we are going to resurface on the other parks. See you guys there. Hello everybody, Caden here today, and I've already done the intro. I forgot this is the second part of the episode, which, speaking of, the first part of the episode is like 40 minutes. Good grief, this episode is going to be like an hour and a half. It's basically going to be up very, very late. Also, sorry, you guys don't realize how long it took, but it's been about an hour since I cut away. Reason, this world would not work for like 45 minutes, and then I actually just had to go around the park and respawn in all the dinosaurs because I updated the world on accident to the newest version, but that's fine. We are here. Also, I'm offline, so I don't have my skin. It's terrible. Anyway, we are here at Season 3's park, and I'm realizing just now, most of you won't know what this park is, unless you've gone back and rewatched like the entire series. most of you aren't going to know what this park is. And right now, I am going to say, you're like, whoa, you're an amazing builder. I've never seen you build this boat before. I did not come up with this boat. I am not going to take credit for this. This was from a YouTube tutorial on how to build a boat. I built this in creative mode because this is like a year and a half old, and I sucked at building then. Not going to sugarcoat it. I was a terrible builder. So anyway, let's just get on with it. Welcome to Season 3's Jurassic Park. Do 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 do. I don't have the resource pack anymore, do I? Oh yeah, by the way, 16 by 16 realism. That is what I was using the last episode, not last episode, for the last part of the episode. I don't know if I have it anymore. Give me a second. Okay, we're back. I was looking to see if I had the resource pack still. I do not actually have the resource pack still with me. But this is Season 3's park. And right off the bat, seeing just this pier and this building, you can tell we've come a long way since this point in my building skill. This is the map of Australia. If you don't understand why I call it the map of Australia, look at a map. I didn't realize this until I actually did the full map of the park. And I think this is one of the only times I was ever actually able to get a full map of my park. Yeah, it looked like Australia. It was really funny. But also, this is what I call this is what I think really started the series. Now, if you, and when we hit 1,000 and we go back and actually look, you'll see my parks did not look like parks. This is the season that finally I figured out how to make a park. Like a full-on zoo. And I'd be like, what do you mean? I didn't know how to do buildings, pathways, things like that. The essentials to actually making a zoo. And this season, in Season 3, I finally got a whole path. You can see there's a whole pathway, like a main highway, you could call it, I guess. The interstate. Going all the way from one end of the island to the other. Oh my gosh, I'm hiccuping. This island is really small, if you can't tell. That boat is about the size of most of these exhibits. Like, yeah, that boat there is bigger than the hotel right there. It's hilarious. Anyway, I'm just gonna take you guys on a tour of what this park was like. This park, again, is like a year old. It's not new by any standard. It's old. This was the first time I was using carpenter's blocks and chisel. I mean, that's insane. Yes, I have updated it. So, I mean, the original dinosaurs were not like this. I think they were actually one of the reasons the world was broken. But if we look around, I mean, this was my original plesiosaur exhibit for this kind of stuff. Terrible. Hotel. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I remember when I built this, I was dead chuffed with how that looked. I was like, oh my gosh, this is by far the best build I have ever made. Oh, I forgot to install better foliage. Oh, we don't really need it for this world. But I mean, the interior doesn't look too bad, but the exterior, it's like, oh, it's terrible. And again, these paintings were really cool Jurassic Park ones because I had a Jurassic Park texture pack. Don't know where it is. You can see, if you guys just remember the earlier part of this video when I was showing off the in the restaurants, that kind of stuff. This is kind of the predecessor, you could say, to that. Kind of came up with several ideas. Allosaur skeleton there. Yeah, we've got like the front counter here, just like a computer. We got the Brachiosaur Cafe, and I mean, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing in existence. It was an okay, for the time, restaurant build. And I mean, the actual thing we've got coming out here is really, really cool. We got the Brachiosaurs, Stegosaurs, things like that. Now, if we actually continue up here, finish off the tour of this building, these are the rooms. I mean, the interior of the room is okay. Again, I did have a different texture. Whoa, what was that? It was like, I did like, as well as I did the old or whatever texture pack. That actually made everything look a lot different, which is why I would not have used stone otherwise. But yeah, the hotel was just not great. And then we had this little balcony. You could come out and see the Brachiosaurs and the Stegos, and it was really cool. I don't know. I don't feel as nostalgic for this part for some reason. And I don't know why. It may just be I don't really like as many of the builds anymore. I've grown in such a building. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Oh, this is one of those embarrassing builds everyone has. I tried to do a pool with a cool dinosaur symbol in it, and it just looked terrible. Jeep tours. This is before I got the Jeep mod installed. I think I had like a World War II Jeep from Flans mod installed for this. But anyway, it's a primitive use of the not iron bars, the carpenter's barrier thing. I don't know why they're open. But yeah, this was allow you to kind of take a Jeep through and see the dinosaur area. As you can kind of see, this is a very primitive version of what I would do what I would do in season 4 with the whole, you know, free-range brachiosaur area, and I guess in season 5 as well. But it's a lot smaller. Oh, actually, you know what I need to say? One, this is the first thing. One, I did not care as much about space for the dinosaurs in this season. Second of all, a lot of the dinosaurs were actually smaller back during this season. There's like a guy going by on a dirt bike by my window. Anyway, what is it? So you guys remember, like, I know a lot of you have complained, like, oh, the Brachiosaurus is too small. This Brachiosaurus is actually a lot bigger than the one I had, I think, in this season when I originally made it. The Stegosaurs I think the Stegosaurs may have been around the same size, but dinosaurs were smaller back then, and you could fit more of them in a really tiny area. Something is telling me, I may have to go back and watch the old episodes, but something else was in here. I don't know what though. Something's just telling me there was another animal in there, and I can't remember what it was. Anyway, we're gonna head over here. Also, if you can't tell already, there's a reason I built like a yacht. This was built around the time the first Jurassic World trailers popped up. So that means I was pretty heavily influenced for some of these builds. Now this is the original visitor center. And by original, I mean this was like the first visitor center I've ever built. Reception, this area, we had like a whole, this was a house. If you guys want to go actually back, I think, let's see. Yep. Been almost a year since I've been on here. Enchanting room. Oh, I don't think any of my stuff isn't. No, we still have stuff! Oh my gosh! Dinosaur stuff, blocks, items, tools, enchantments. Oh, I was trying to get like some sort of enchantment or something. But that is that's actual nostalgia there. I was like, okay, I think I know there was a block. Basically, I wanted to keep all my stuff out of sight. I was like, if I put it in the right place, I can hide it. And if I built this little fossil display, which I'll probably do something similar to in a museum. This was my museum, basically. Anyway, I can't believe I remembered exactly which block to break, or which 2 blocks to break to actually get in. And then we had a whole episode devoted to fighting the Ender Dragon, which is really anticlimactic because it was kind of broken. But we had the Ender Dragon egg here. We had a T-Rex and a Spinosaur thing. I don't know why there's no glass there. Oh my gosh, of course I called it Clash of Kings because, oh, how old was I? I would have been no wait, I'm 15 now. 15. Yeah, I would have been 14 when I did this. I can't believe I came up with such a terrible name. That's, terrible. Anyway, the actual interior of the building is okay. It looks like a train station, to be honest. It's an okay build. The exterior, or at least on this side, was cool because it looked really cool. It kind of reminded me of the Lost Worlds kind of thing. And then we had these archways. This was how I lit my park. That, and I had these. I think I copied that from Poet Plays. Anyway, what was it? We had small herbivores and small carnivores. We'll go small herbivores first because I can actually double around this way. But this is, now you guys are starting to see some of where things we do now are coming from. Stone brick path with these. This is where this whole thing started with the smooth stone slabs because, I mean, we all know that's like my bread and butter of building these days. But also, this was the first time I ever put a railing along the edge of the fence, or a barrier of some sort to keep visitors from going off the path. What is it? And, oh, small herb of... I didn't even write small herbivores. I just wrote small herbivore. Also, some of these were named. They're not named now because I was like, okay, I don't really care to rename them. I'm only going to be on here for like 30 minutes. Oh, yeah, they're hurting. I completely forgot about that mechanic. I can't wait to see that later. Yeah, my fence is atrocious. Look at this. It's a fence! I just used a fence block. This is... I had a whole plot actually devised. If you guys want to, I'm just gonna say this real quick. I had a whole plot devised in season 4. I was like, ooh, for if we ever get like past 40 or so episodes, I didn't actually replace the dodos. That's fine. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll go, and it'll be like this park is destroyed, and we need to go stop the dinosaurs from escaping. This park is basically destroyed. This park is. I mean, there are some redeeming qualities. I was incorporating some things like these hay bales. That's a cool idea. We had little shelters going on. First water features. And more importantly, what you guys are seeing right now, the introduction of the stone wall. And you may be like, okay, what's so significant about this? I mean, oh, you guys want to see something. This will show you how devoted I was at the time to this world. Yeah. I just forgot about it until we went behind this area. This has all been terraformed. Like, we can go from sea to shining sea underneath this park. It's kind of like in the Jurassic Park novel. I've already met references. There was a whole tunnel system underneath the park where the raptors were hiding out. But I mean, like, literally... this island is nowhere near its natural state. The ground has been raised. When we go to another area, which I believe this is the Ceratosaurus enclosure, it'll be even more clear that I did that. But anyway, yeah, the original stone walls. I mean, that's one of my most iconic things I'd say now for exhibits is the stone walls. Now, before we get onto that, we're gonna just focus on this, the dodo enclosure. Now, this actually isn't too bad of an exhibit. This is what makes me laugh. I literally spent like 2 hours trying to devise a system to collect eggs from dodos. Didn't even really work, which means a year ago I did not really know how to use redstone. A year and a half ago I did not know how to use redstone. But what's worse is I forgot to actually lock any dodos in here, so I never ended up getting eggs. So yeah. And I don't even think I put a fence in here. I mean, not a fence, a gate in here, so I don't know how I got in. And here we are at this exhibit. Again, what in the world was I thinking with the one high fence? That's not gonna keep a woolly mammoth in. Also, I mean, you think this is bad for crowding? I have 3 Gallimimus and 5 Pachycephalosaurs in here. 2 mammoths, 2 Elasmotheriums, 4 quaggas in a tiny little area, and they never left this part. Which made me always wonder, it's like, why did I build this? And I guess we'll go to this area, and then we're gonna actually head back and around. This was something I did. I don't know why I didn't put the top half of the map on here, but I didn't. This was a primitive eating area. You guys remember the one I did for the other park? This was basically the setup for that. Oh, wait a second. That was a beachfront. Yeah, that was a beachfront. I'm remembering things from the previous. And this was a lighthouse. There was a lighthouse here. It was either here or over there. No, it was here. It was in the corner of the island. Yeah, there was a lighthouse there at one point. I completely forgot about that. I mean, I hate this park. Well, no, I don't hate it. I just don't love it as much because of the build quality. But I'd say this was the first time I really put work into a park. This is the first time I built a dinosaur park. And I have to say, I had a good choice in laboratories. It's actually, I mean, the exterior looks terrible, and I should not have chosen these blocks, but for the actual machinery, I have to say I did a pretty good job designing this all. Looks very cool. And I mean, I think the main thing I tried to do with this lab is it's supposed to kind of look like the bunker from Jurassic Park, but I also really made it so it looked kind of secretive, like you're not supposed to be here. Ooh, spooky kind of stuff. You know, I wanted to have fun. So yeah, that was a fun build, I think. Anyway, over to small carnivores. There are 9 compies in here. Actually, there are... one of them died, didn't it? Compsognathus. Oh, no, that's an egg. I thought it was like a Compsognathus meat or something. Anyway, we head up here. Oh my gosh. Guys, look at it. Here it is. The original glass barrier. It seems oddly hilarious to me right now. This was the first time. Yeah, I think this area was the first time this had ever appeared, and it only appeared in this one section, because then it was all back to these horrible fences. What was I thinking? More primitive rock walls. You'll see what's on that side in a second, but what was I thinking when... Oh, not these. Carnivore fence. I loved Cyan Cinclay. It's still one of my favorite blocks ever. But I used it way too much and for the wrong thing. This is a Dilophosaurus exhibit. You might be like, oh yeah, for one Dilophosaur, this is really good. No. There are 4 stinking Dilophosaurs in here. And what in the... There's a sheep in here. And I would not have known that. Oh, I have the morph mod on, don't I? Yeah, I do. I would not have known that until just now, because until then they hadn't really attacked stuff. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry, you'll notice that everything's kind of in a different place now, because it's basically been 2 hours of AFK. Sheep's wandered here, hasn't it? Wait, what in the world? What are they trying to get? There must be, wait. Oh, whoa, there isn't actually anything underneath this? Bizarre. Anyway, so yeah, we're back on the world. Sorry about that. So anyway, we are back with the tour. This is the Velociraptor enclosure. As you can tell, I didn't really figure out that they could climb, because they easily climbed out of this fence and I had raptors running around the park forever. Oh, we also had Triceratops. And this exhibit. This was terror birds. Now, back when this exhibit was first made, the terror birds were fine with each other. In fact, they were fine with each other up until this current update, in which case they now all murder each other, because I had 2 of each in here like I had originally, and they proceeded to kill each other. So yeah, terror birds. Oh, and Triceratops. I really don't... Again, like... What is it? Oh! You know, it's a really good comparison. This is for anyone who ever played Elder Scrolls. This is the Morrowind of the series. This is the Morrowind of the parks. And what you might be like, for those of you who haven't played Morrowind, you might be confused, but so I'll explain it real quick. Basically, Morrowind is what laid down the entire foundation for what was to become Oblivion and Skyrim. I own Morrowind. It's okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It's basically just the groundwork for everything. And this is what that park is, I realize now. This park is Morrowind. The park next time, or the park we already went to, that was Oblivion, and the current park is Skyrim. And then slash toggle. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna continue. I don't know what I was thinking when I came up with this fence. Oh no, I do. Never mind. I thought it was like, oh yeah, it looks kind of like planks. It'll look really sick. It looks okay. It's okay. It's okay. The pathway design is interesting. Also, I'm not sure why I did this actually in hindsight, because this is... It's like, okay, this park I'd say does not look like it's going to hold any of the dinosaurs in. These exhibits are just... I don't know why I use so many fences. Okay, yeah, and then there's Deinonychus. The Deinonychus, I don't ever remember them escaping. I do ever remember this very primitive waterfall having a problem where the Triceratopses could actually climb out. Oh yeah, we've also got Ankylosaurs in here. Yeah, and then the pathway came out to about here, and then you can see, and I just remembered something. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's something on the world we will want to see in a bit. So yeah, then the Triceratops. This looks a bit more reasonable for like gaps and stuff. So yeah, this was just a bit more of the territory. And then we have this, the Smilodon enclosure, which to be honest looks Oh my gosh. Well, okay, this is something I will need to know. Breeding apparently works with Smilodons. That's problematic. Okay, well, at least this gave me some interesting knowledge. This is an okay exhibit. This is a later exhibit I did. I don't really like it that much, but we'll head out here. Okay, so aquarium. Okay, guys, I want to say something about this aquarium. This was the first large building I'd ever really done in Minecraft. Devoted 2 whole episodes to it. It was a real big project. It was a lot of fun to put together. And really does not work with the current size of the animals. Mosasaurs used to be much smaller. So, no, Leopleurodon actually hasn't really changed size much, but yeah. We have Liopleurodons, we have Mosasaurs, we have Coelacanth the Nautilus in here. We have prehistoric fish. Oh yeah, because the sturgeons weren't in and stuff weren't in yet, so I made this. Oh, that was interesting. And then we had replica DNA. Oh yeah, because the plesiosaurs weren't in this one. Now that's actually how you get into the area. And then this is the primitive version of the aqua tunnel, which really does not work. It used to work quite well because since they were small, they just kind of go right over it. But they're now really, really big, like they are in real life. So yeah, a bit more difficult. Oh, I forgot about that. I completely assembled. Wait, what are these? Stegosaurus. Pretty sure I didn't use Stegosaurus. Oh my gosh, it switched it out for Stegosaurus. That's funny. Because yep, all the IDs changed. That's hilarious. Anyway, that was originally a Mosasaur skeleton that I kind of made. It doesn't look great, but it was what I could do. Because I think at the time, Mosasaurs didn't actually have skeletons you could place down. So that was the best I could come up with. And I think it turned out okay. Smilodons. Anyway, okay, let's head over here. Ceratosaurus! Oh, this was Allosaurus originally, and then I turned it into Ceratosaurus. And again, you can already kind of see that this is what things are like. Now, I mean, oh yeah, that was an expansion. No, that wasn't an expansion. Because I think if we go here, this was all part of the Allosaurus enclosure, yeah. And then I closed it off because I changed it to Ceratosaurus. But yeah, as you can see, this was a very primitive version of the Spinosaurus fence that we now have, or the Ceratosaurus wall, I guess is what it's going to be. That's funny. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going. So over here, this is more when you could tell Jurassic World was starting to come out, because I built this. You guys remember the really cool Jurassic World Mosasaur Stadium I built last time in the other park? This is the predecessor. This thing is ugly. Light blue. Why did I use this block? I mean, it's somewhat accurate, but I had plesiosaurs in here. I didn't even finish it. Oh, no. And I didn't like that you could see into the aquarium because I put glass above the things. And I was like, oh, I don't like that, so I'll put trees. And that looks absolutely horrendous. Oh, reasons I didn't want to come back here. There's some good builds. There's some great things, but it's like Morrowind. It's just like, it's good and I can respect it, but there are just some terribly outdated things here. I mean, there's some parts like this. Just like, if you ignore that that's there, if there was just a walkway here, this is kind of cool. It's a nice looking nature type walk. And we got them over here. And loading docks. I have no idea why in the world I built this. I mean, it's okay. The fence was an okay design. I think I did actually these aren't shipping containers. They're storage areas, I guess. I don't know. Oh yeah, herbivore, carnivore. Of course I broke. Oh wait, no, it's that. And piscitivore, or fish eaters. And now, unlike the yacht, this is of my own design. You can tell because it looks horrible. And I never finished. Brilliant, Caden. I didn't even finish the pier. Well, I can understand that. It goes... I think I set it down far enough that it would look like it kind of went down. I don't know. Got a floating area. Woolen clay. We've got some shipping containers going along here. And then you come in here, and then there's this. I honestly don't know what I was thinking. I think the nether brick looked better in the texture pack I had, because that's the only explanation I have for why I used it. Oh, I think it looked like metal in that texture pack, so that's why I was using it so often. Anyway, and now we're gonna go over here. We'll go in there for in a second, because oh yes, one of the things. Jurassic Lunch. Oh yeah, you guys named that. I have no idea. I can't remember who named that. I really should have put that down. But anyway, this is the predecessor of the restaurant. And aside from like the roof in this area, it really doesn't look too bad. I mean, we actually had a full-on kitchen back here. We had a closable door. We even had bathrooms, for Pete's sake. So I mean, you know, as far as builds go, this was not a bad one. I have to say Jurassic Lunch was pretty good. I mean, I don't know why I had all these up here. I think it was meant to kind of look like AC units and stuff. Do I want to head through the aviary? I think we'll go through the aviary last, because we can kind of double around back. Anyway, this... Oh, I forgot about these guys. So these guys are actually based on the original ones. And if memory serves me right, the original Sarcos were not much bigger than that. I mean, let's actually get a Sarcosuchus and spawn it in. I mean, yeah, that's basically what this enclosure was like. Slash time set day. But yeah, this is basically what that enclosure was like. It's like, I like how this one looks. I think this is honest between the two. The other one looked like it'd be real life. This one looks like it's part of a zoo. This is one of the few good exhibits we have from this park. This is just, yeah, we'll turn around in a second, look at Spinos. But yeah, I mean, this was a really good design for how things. I think I meant to originally have an underwater viewing area there, but I never got to building it. And now we get to Spinosaurus area. There are 3 Spinosaurs in here. And there's a terrible, terrible thing here. This fence. I think at this time I've been playing a lot of JPOG, or Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, and I'd been like, you know what, I want to do something like the light security fence, and the closest thing I could come up with was this, which is just, I'm not gonna, okay guys, I know you might be like, oh Caden, why are you being so hard on yourself? You shouldn't be so mean to yourself, these were builds you did a long time ago. I will criticize this because this is just bad. I mean, I have 3 Spinosaurs in here. Why did I need 3? I think they were smaller back then or something. Because otherwise, why would I have put 3 in? I don't know. Yeah, we'll get to T-Rex in a second, but this is the other thing I did. Spinosaur tunnels. And anyway, like, why does it look like this? Why does the entrance to the Spinosaur tunnels look like this? Because that's not what it was going to be. Again, Jurassic World trailers that started showing up, and there was a monorail. And I was like, oh, sick! I want to do a monorail! And then I realized I did not know how to make a monorail that looked decent. So instead of a monorail, we got Spinosaurus tunnels. A rather bizarre attraction that was made up on the fly. I mean, it's an okay thing. It works, you could say. It's kind of like those little bubble things you pop into to see animals inside the exhibits and stuff like that. And then there was this one because I realized 2 Spinosaurs were always hanging out back here instead of actually being invisible areas for the visitors. Oh, and this was the original river. This river makes absolutely no sense logically, but I made it here because I was like, Spinosaurus lived near water. We need more water in the exhibit, so I put more water in. And then I think this whole area was meant to be one exhibit at one point. And then I combined it into T-Rex, but you guys think that exhibit's bad? Trust me, the T-Rex one is worse. Because it's diagonal. And if you can't tell what that is, that's meant to be the thing where the goat comes up in the film and then the T-Rex eats it. And I was super psyched about this. I was like, oh, it looks so cool. And then I realized, like Jurassic Park, we have a problem. You really cannot see the T-Rexes because 1, They are too big when fully grown to come up to the fence, and if they do come up to the fence, they get stuck. And second of all, you really can't see through this fence. It's terrible. It's absolutely atrocious. And then over here we have Allosaurus. Now this was a fairly late addition to the park. I think this may have actually been the last thing I built on this world before we ended the season. And I mean, it's an okay exhibit. It's probably, in terms of like actual exhibit content, it's probably the closest to where the dinosaur would have lived, except for probably Sarcosuchus, which was extremely close. And now to the grandpappy of the aviaries. This was the first aviary I built, or the third edition of the aviary I've built. Oh yeah, we had the ticket for aviary booth. We had Confuciusornis exhibit, which is okay. It's an okay exhibit. Who was it? No, I saw someone's video, and I think I did something. Citron! Oh my gosh, it was Citron! Oh, I remember. Citron, I don't know if Citron's watching this. But dude, Citron, if you ever watched this video, dude, I mean, well, he hit 1,000 around the time I was doing this. And I looked up to him as like a YouTuber. I was like, I wonder if I'll ever get as good as him and like get as big of a channel as him. And I mean, it's actually happening now, which is kind of insane. But yeah, he had a really cool Confuciusornis exhibit that looked 10 billion times better than that. Actually, I think Citron and DT Code, their dinosaur series together, is kind of really what got me to be a better builder, I'd say. Anyway, so you guys remember the last Pteranodon aviary, how it was built so that way you couldn't get to where the Pteranodons were, because in real life they'd probably be very territorial? Yeah, this was not that kind of build. This build, you could kind of just walk through, and actually, I think I built this like right after the update for flying came out. So the Pteranodons were flying around. I mean, now to fly they need to jump off a cliff, so this really doesn't work anymore, but when that first came out, it was insanely cool. In fact, that video was the most popular one on my channel for, gosh, how long would that have been? It must have been at least a year. That was my most popular video. I had like 2K views. Yeah, we had a seating area here, and then we had admission. Instead of tickets for everywhere, we just had admission. 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 Well, yeah. This has basically been my, Dino Park. There's less terraforming, I think, when we get over to around here. Yeah, I mean, you've already seen under there, it's like huge amounts of terraforming, but there's one last area I want to hit before we end today's episode. And you'll be like, well, what's there left to see? You've basically shown us the entire park. Oh, I actually want to show you this real quick. You guys are gonna be like, oh wow, he really did a lot of building here. There was no land here. There was no land. Everything, I think, from there, what is it? It's like from, I think like all of that is basically just placed blocks. Anyway, where is it? So, a bit of backstory on this, and actually, yeah, this was not single player. This was multiplayer for about a month. Not on MC Pro Hosting, which is, I'm not endorsed by them. That's just the server hosting I use. It's decent. I hosted the server myself. It sucked, to put it lightly. But yeah, there were a couple other bases on this island, on this world. This was one of my friends, Trev44. This was his. He used creative mode, honestly, but I kind of helped him out with creative mode and stuff, but yeah, after he left and after I put the world on single player, I kind of just turned this into a nuke zone. Back when I had Flansmod on, yeah. That was his Pteranodon helipad, I think. That was his house/laboratory. He had a cool mountainside thing there. And if we head through here, there should be Brachios somewhere, shouldn't there? He had them right in here. Oh my gosh, they're all babies. That is insane. That's a lot of Brach. Yeah, so you can kind of tell he used creative mode. What are these? Biome essence ore. I imagine that's not what they originally were. I think they were probably some sort of other block. And if we head over here, somewhere. There's another base. I can't, I think this was my friend Justin's base. Yeah, this was Justin's base is somewhere out here. Where was it? That's it. That's that right there. That should be it. He had an Ankylosaurus. Oh yeah. Oh no, did I nuke his base? I don't think I nuked it. If I did do that, I didn't actually nuke as much of it as I could. And oh my gosh, the frames have dropped. But, oh my gosh. Analyzer. Oh, the fossils and archaeology blocks disappeared. But yeah, he had an two Ankies in here. Can't remember what he had named them, but they were named. And then I helped him build this area. He put a mosasaur in here. I forgot about this. Oh wait, was it this one or was this another person I helped? No, it was him. He had like a whole area going around here, and it had like a pizzeria underground and stuff, and it was really cool. And then the world rolled back. But yeah, there's some good old nostalgia here. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed episode 50. I'm so sorry this is going to be an insanely late upload for all of you who were wondering, like, waiting patiently for this episode. So sorry about that. You can understand. It took a long time to prepare all this, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed it. You see, it's not every episode. Usually, when we have an episode, we just go, we build, we do stuff like that, we banter. This episode, we gotta look go back in history and see how things went. And as the sun sets on the old world, we will soon set the sun on this episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, guys. See ya.